Hi, it's me again. I'll be reading some more from this Bible. Exodus chapter 35. Instructions for the Sabbath. Now Moses called a meeting of all the people and told them, "You must obey these instructions from the Lord each week. Work for. Work for 6 days only. The seventh day is a day of total rest, a holy day that belongs to the Lord. Anyone who works on that day will die. Do not even light fires in your homes on that day, gifts for the tabernacle." Then Moses said to all the people, "This is what the Lord has commanded. Everyone is invited to bring these offerings to the Lord: gold, silver, and bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, fine linen, gold hair for cloth, tan ram skins, and fine goatskin leather, acacia wood, olive oil for the lamp, spices for the anointing oil, and the fragrant incense, onyx stones and other stones to be set in the ephod and the chest piece. Come, all of you who are gifted craftsmen, construct everything that the Lord has commanded. The entire tabernacle, including the scales tent and its coverings, the clasps, frames, crossbars, posts, and bases, the ark and its poles, the ark's cover, the place of atonement, the inner curtain to enclose the ark in the most holy place, the table, its carrying poles, and all of its utensils, the bread of the presence, the lampstand and its accessories, the lamp cups, and the oil for lighting, the incense altar and its carrying poles, the anointing oil and fragrant incense, the curtain for the entrance of the tabernacle, the altar of burnt offering, the bronze grating of the altar and its carrying poles and utensils, the large wash basin with its pedestal, the curtains for the walls of the courtyard, the posts and their bases, the curtain for the entrance to the courtyard, the 10 pegs of the tabernacle and courtyard and their cords, the beautifully stitched clothing for the priests to wear while ministering in the holy place, the scarce garments for Aaron and his sons to wear while officiating as priests. So all the people left Moses and went to their tents to prepare their gifts. If their hearts were stirred and they desired to do so, they brought to the Lord their offerings of materials for the tabernacle and its furnishings and for the holy garments. Both men and women came, all whose hearts were willing. Some brought to the Lord their offerings of gold medallions, earrings, rings from their fingers, and necklaces. They presented gold objects of every kind to the Lord. Others brought blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, fine linen, or gold hair for cloth. Some gave tan ram skins or fine goatskin leather. Others brought silver and bronze objects as their offering to the Lord, and those who had acacia wood brought it. All the women who were skilled in sewing and spinning prepared blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and fine linen cloth, and they brought them in. All the women who were willing used the scales to spin and weave. the goat hair into cloth. The leaders brought onyx stones and the other gemstones to be used for the ephod and the chest piece. They also brought spices and olive oil for the light, the anointing oil, and the fragrant incense. So the people of Israel, every man and woman to, who wanted to help in the work the Lord had given them through Moses, brought their offering to the Lord. And Moses told them, the Lord has chosen Bezalel, son of Uri, grandson of Hur of the tribe of Judah. The Lord has filled Bezalel with the Spirit of God, giving him great wisdom, intelligence, and skill. In all kinds of crafts, he is able to create beautiful objects from gold, silver, and bronze. He is skilled in cutting and setting gemstones and in carving wood. In fact, he has every necessary skill, and the Lord has given both him and Oholiab, son of Ahis, Amach, of the tribe of Dan, the ability to teach their skills to others. The Lord has given them special skills as jewelers, designers, weavers, and embroiderers. In blue, purple, and scarlet yarn on fine linen cloth, they excel in all the crafts needed for the work. Exodus chapter 36. Bezalel, Oholiab, and the other craftsmen whom the Lord has gifted with wisdom, skill, and intelligence, will construct and furnish the tabernacle just as the Lord has commanded. So Moses told Bezalel and Oholiab to begin the work along with all those who were especially gifted by the Lord. Moses gave them the materials donated by the people for the completion of the sanctuary. Additional gifts were brought each morning, but finally the craftsmen left their work to meet with Moses. We have more than enough materials on hand now to complete the job the Lord has given us to do, they exclaimed. So Moses gave the command, and this message was sent throughout the camp. Bring no more materials you have already given more than enough. So the people stopped bringing their offerings. The contributions were more than enough to complete the whole project. Building the tabernacle, the skilled weavers first made 10 sheets from fine linen. One of the craftsmen then embroidered blue, purple, and scarlet cherubim into them. Each sheet was exactly the same size, 42 feet long and 6 feet wide. 5 of these sheets were joined together to make one set, and the second set was made of the other 5. 50 blue loops were placed along the edge of the last sheet in each set. The 50 loops along the edge of the first set of sheets matched the loops along the edge of the second set. Then 50 gold clasps were made to connect the loops on the edge of each set. Thus the tabernacle was joined together in one piece. Above the tabernacle, a roof covering was made from 11 sheets of cloth made from goat hair. Each sheet was exactly the same size, 45 feet long and 6 feet wide. The craftsman joined 5 of these sheets together to make one set, and the 6 remaining sheets were joined to make a second set. Then they made 50 loops along the edge of the last sheet in each set. They also made 50 small bronze clasps to couple the loops, so the two sets of sheets were firmly attached to each other. In this way, the roof covering was joined together in one piece. Then they made two more layers for the roof covering. The first was made of tan ram skins, and the second was made of fine goatskin leather. For the framework of the tabernacle, they made frames of acacia wood standing on end. Each frame was 15 feet high and 2 1/4 feet wide. There were 2 pegs on each frame, so they could be joined to the next frame. All the frames were made this way. They made 20 frames to support the south side, along with 40 silver bases, two for each frame. They also made 20 frames for the north side of the tabernacle, along with 40 silver bases, two for each frame. The west side of the tabernacle, its rear was made from 6 frames, plus an extra frame at each corner. These corner frames were connected at the bottom, and firmly attached at the top with a single wing, forming a single unit from top to bottom. Then they made 2 of these, one for each rear corner. So for the west side, they made a total of 8 frames, along with 16 silver bases, 2 for each frame. Then they made 5 crossbars from acacia wood to tie the frames on the south side together. They made another 5 for the north side and 5 for the west side. The middle crossbar of the 5 was halfway up the frames along each side, running from one end to the other. The frames and crossbars were all overlaid with gold. The wings used to hold the crossbars were made of pure gold. The inner curtain was made of fine linen cloth, and cherubim was skillfully embroidered into it with blue, purple, and scarlet yarn. This curtain was then attached to 4 gold hooks set into 4 posts of acacia wood. The posts were overlaid with gold and set into 4 silver bases. Then they made another curtain for the entrance to the scarce tent. It was made of fine linen cloth and embroidered with blue, purple, and scarlet yarn. This curtain was connected by 5 hooks to 5 posts. The posts with the decorated tops and bands were overlaid with gold. The 5 bases were molded from bronze. Exodus chapter 37. Building the ark. Next, Bezalel made the ark out of acacia wood. It was 3 3/4 feet long, 2 1/4 feet wide, and 2 1/4 feet high. It was overlaid with pure gold inside and out. and it had a molding of gold all the way around. 4 gold rings were fastened to its 4 feet, 2 rings at each side. Then he made poles from acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. He put the poles into the rings at the sides of the ark to carry it. Then from pure gold he made the ark's cover, the place of atonement. It was 3 3/4 feet long and 2 1/4 feet wide. He made 2 figures of cherubim out of hammer gold and placed them at the two ends of the atonement cover. They were made so they were actually a part of the atonement cover. It was all one piece. The cherubim faced each other as they looked down on the atonement cover, and their wings were stretched out above the atonement cover to protect it. Building the table. Then he made a table out of acacia wood, 3 feet long, 1 1/2 feet wide, and 2 1/4 feet high. It was overlaid with pure gold with a gold molding all around the edge. A rim about 3 inches wide was attached along the edges of the table, and a gold molding ran around the rim. Then he cast four rings of gold and attached them to the 4 table legs next to the rim. These were made to hold the carrying poles in place. He made the carrying poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. Next, using pure gold, he made the plates, dishes, bowls, and pitchers to be placed on the table. These utensils were to be used in pouring out drink offerings. Building the lampstand. Then he made the lampstand, again using pure hammer gold. Its base, center stem, lamp cups, blossoms, and buds were all of one piece. The lampstand had 6 branches, three going out from each side of the center stem. Each of the 6 branches held a cup shaped like an almond blossom, complete with buds and petals. The center stem of the lampstand was also decorated with 4 almond blossoms. One blossom was set beneath each pair of branches where they extended from the center stem. The decorations and branches were all one piece with the stem, and they were hammered from pure gold. He also made the 7 lamps, the lamp snuffers, and the trays, all of pure gold. The entire lampstand, along with its accessories, was made from 75 pounds of pure gold. Building the incense altar. The incense altar was made of acacia wood. It was 18 inches square and 3 feet high, with its corner horns made from the same piece of wood as the altar itself. He overlaid the top, sides, and horns of the altar with pure gold and ran a gold molding around the edge. 2 gold rings were placed on opposite sides beneath the molding to hold the carrying poles. The carrying poles were made of acacia wood and were overlaid with gold. Then he made the scales oil for anointing the priests and the fragrant incense, using the techniques of the most skilled incense maker. Exodus chapter 38, building the altar of burnt offering. The altar for burning animal sacrifices also was constructed of acacia wood. It was 7 1/2 feet square at the top and 4 1/2 feet high. There were 4 horns, one at each of the 4 corners, all of one piece with the rest. This altar was overlaid with bronze. Then he made all the bronze utensils to be used with the altar: the ash buckets, shovels, basins, meat hooks, and fire pans. Next he made a bronze grating that rested on a ledge about halfway down into the firebox. 4 rings were cast for each side of the grating to support the carrying poles. The carrying poles themselves were made of acacia wood and were overlaid with bronze. These poles were inserted into the rings at the side of the altar. The altar was hollow and was made from planks. Building the wash basin. The bronze wash basin and its bronze pedestal were cast from bronze mirrors donated by the woman who served at the entrance of the tabernacle. Building the courtyard. Then he constructed the courtyard. The south wall was 150 feet long. It consisted of curtains made of fine linen. There were 20 posts, each with its own bronze base, and there were several hooks and rods to hold up the curtains. The north wall was also 150 feet long, with 20 bronze posts and bases, and with several hooks and rods. The west end was 75 feet wide. The walls were made from curtains supported by 10 posts and bases, and with several hooks and rods. The east end was also 75 feet wide. The courtyard entrance was on the east side, flanked by 2 curtains. The curtain on the right side was 22 and 1/2 feet long and was supported by 3 posts set into 3 bases. The curtain on the left side was also 22 1/2 feet long and was supported by 3 posts set into 3 bases. All the curtains used in the courtyard walls were made of fine linen. Each post had a bronze base, and all the hooks and rods were silver. The tops of the posts were overlaid with silver, and the rods to hold up the curtain were solid silver. The curtain that covered the entrance to the courtyard was made up of a fine linen cloth and embroidered with blue, purple, and scarlet yarn. It was 30 feet long and 7 and 1/2 feet high, just like the curtains of the courtyard walls. It was supported by 4 posts set into 4 bronze bases. The tops of the posts were overlaid with silver, and the hooks and rods were also made of silver. All the 10 pegs used in the tabernacle and courtyard were made of bronze. Inventory of materials. Here is an inventory of the materials used in building the tabernacle of the covenant. Moses directed the Levites to compile the figures, and Ithamar, son of Aaron the priest, served as recorder. Bezalel, son of Uri, grandson of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, was in charge of the whole project, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. He was assisted by Oholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, a craftsman expert at engraving, designing, and embroidering blue, purple, and scarlet yarn on fine linen cloth. The people brought gifts of gold totaling about 2,200 pounds, all of which was used throughout the tabernacle. The amount of silver that was given was about 7,545 pounds. It came from the tax of 1/5 of an ounce of silver collected from each of those registered in the census. This included all the men who were 20 years old or older, 603,550 in all. The 100 bases for the frames of the sanctuary walls, and for the posts supporting the inner curtain. Required 7,500 pounds of silver, about 75 pounds for each base. The rest of the silver, about 45 pounds, was used to make the rods and hooks and to overlay the tops of the posts. The people also bought 5,310 pounds of bronze, which was used for casting the bases for the posts at the entrance to the tabernacle, and for the bronze altar with its bronze grating and altar utensils. Bronze was also used to make the bases for the posts that supported the curtains around the courtyard, the bases for the curtain at the entrance of the courtyard, and all the tent pegs used to hold the curtains of the courtyard in place. Exodus chapter 39. Clothing for the priest. For the priest, the craftsmen made beautiful garments of blue, purple, and scarlet cloth, clothing to be worn while ministering in the holy place. The same cloth was used for Aaron's scarce garments, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Making the ephod. The ephod was made from fine linen cloth and embroidered with gold thread and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn. A skilled craftsman make gold thread by beating gold into thin sheets and cutting it into fine strips. He then embroidered it into the linen with the blue, purple, and scarlet yarn. They made 2 shoulder pieces for the ephod, which were attached to its corners so it could be tied down. They also made an elaborate woven sash of the same materials, fine linen cloth, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and gold thread, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. The 2 onyx stones attached to the shoulder pieces of the ephod was set in gold filigree. The stones were engraved with the names of the tribes of Israel, just as the initials are engraved on a seal. These stones serve as reminders to the Lord concerning the people of Israel. All this was done just as the Lord had commanded Moses. He commanded Moses. Making the chest piece. The chest piece was made in the same style as the ephod, crafted from fine linen cloth and embroidered with gold thread and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn. It was doubled over to form a pouch, 9 inches square. Four rows of gemstones were set across it. In the first row were a red CARNELIAN, a a a CHRYSOLITE, and an emerald. In the second row were a turquoise, a sapphire, and a white moonstone. In the third row were a JACINTH and AGATE and an AMETHYST. In the fourth row were a BERYL, an onyx, and a jasper. Each of these gemstones was set in gold. The stones were engraved like a seer, each with the name of one of the 12 tribes of Israel to attach the chest piece to the ephod. They made braided cords of pure gold. They also made 2 gold rings and attached them to the top corners of the chest piece. The 2 gold cords were put through the gold rings on the chest piece, and the ends of the cords were tied to the gold settings on the shoulder pieces of the ephod. 2 more gold rings were attached to the lower inside buttons, to the lower inside corners of the chest piece next to the ephod. Then 2 gold rings were attached to the ephod near the sash. Blue cords were used to attach the bottom rings of the chest piece to the rings on the ephod. In this way, the chest piece was held securely to the ephod above the beautiful sash. All this was done just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Additional clothing for the priest. The robe of the ephod was woven entirely of a blue yarn, with an opening for Aaron's head in the middle of it. The edge of this opening was reinforced with a woven collar so it would not tear. Pomegranates were attached to the bottom edge of the robe. These were finely crafted of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn. Bells of pure gold were placed between the pomegranates along the hem of the robe, with bells and pomegranates alternating all around the hem. This robe was to be worn when Aaron ministered to the Lord, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Tunics were then made for Aaron and his sons from fine linen cloth. The turban, the headdresses, and the inner cloths were all made of this fine linen. The sashes were made of fine linen cloth and embroidered with blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Finally, they made the scales medallion of pure gold to be worn on the front of the turban, using the techniques of an engraver. They inscribed it with these words: "Set apart as holy, to the Lord. This medallion was tied to the turban with a blue cord, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Moses inspects the work. And so at last the tabernacle was finished. The Israelites had done everything just as the Lord had commanded Moses. And they brought the entire tabernacle to Moses, the scales tent with all its furnishings, the clasps, frames, crossbars, posts, and bases, the layers of tan ram skins and fine goatskin leather, the inner curtain that enclosed the most holy place, the ark of the covenant and its carrying post, the ark's cover, the place of atonement, the table, and all its utensils, the bread of the presence, the gold lampstand and its accessories, the lamp cups and the oil for lighting, the gold altar, the anointing oil, the fragrant incense, the curtain for the entrance of the scales tent, the bronze altar, the bronze grating, its poles and utensils, the large wash basin and its pedestal, the curtains for the walls of the courtyard and the posts and bases, holding them up, the curtain at the courtyard entrance, the cords and tent pegs, all the articles used in the operation of the tabernacle, the beautifully crafted garments to be worn while ministering in the holy place, the holy garments for Aaron the priest and for his sons to wear while on duty. So the people of Israel followed all the Lord's instructions to Moses. Moses inspected all the work and blessed them because it had been done as the Lord had commanded him. Exodus chapter 40, the tabernacle completed. The Lord now said to Moses, set up the tabernacle on the first day of the new year. Place the ark of the covenant inside and install the inner curtain to enclose the ark within the most holy place. Then bring in the table and arrange the utensils on it, and bring in the lampstand and set up the lamps. Place the incense altar just outside the inner curtain opposite the ark of the covenant. Set up the curtain made for the entrance of the tabernacle. Place the altar of burnt offering in front of the tabernacle entrance. Set the large wash basin between the tabernacle and the altar and fill it with water. Then set up the courtyard around the outside of the tent and hang the curtain for the courtyard entrance. Take the anointing oil and sprinkle it on the tabernacle and on all its furnishings to make them holy. Sprinkle the anointing oil on the altar of burnt offering and its utensils, sanctifying them. Then the altar will become most holy. Next, anoint the Lord's wash basin and its pedestals to make them holy. Bring Aaron and his sons to the entrance of the tabernacle and wash them with water. Clothe Aaron with the holy garments and anoint him, setting him apart to serve me as a priest. Then bring his sons and dress them in their tunics, anointing them as you did their fathers, so they may serve me as priests. With this anointing, Aaron's descendants are set apart for the priesthood forever, from generation to generation. Moses proceeded to do everything as the Lord had commanded him. So the tabernacle was set up on the first day of the new year. Moses put it together by setting its frames into the bases and attaching the crossbars and raising the posts. Then he spread the coverings over the tabernacle framework and put on the roof layers just as the Lord had commanded him. He placed inside the ark the stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant, and then he attached the ark's carrying post. He also set the ark's cover, the place of atonement, on top of it. Then he brought the ark of the covenant into the tabernacle and set up the inner curtain to shield it from view, just as the Lord had commanded. Next he placed the table in the tabernacle along the north side of the holy place, just outside the inner curtain, and he arranged the bread of the presence on the table that stands before the Lord, just as the Lord had commanded. He set the lampstand in the tabernacle across from the table on the south side of the holy place. Then he set up the lamps in the Lord's presence, just as the Lord had commanded. He also placed the incense altar in the tabernacle in the holy place in front of the inner curtain. On it he burned the fragrant incense made from sweet spices, just as the Lord had commanded. He attached the curtain at the entrance of the tabernacle, and he placed the altar of burnt offering near the tabernacle entrance. On it he offered a burnt offering and a grain offering, just as the Lord had commanded. Next he placed the large wash basin between the tabernacle and the altar. He filled it with water so the priests could use it to wash themselves. Moses and Aaron's sons washed their hands and feet in the basin whenever they walked past the altar to enter the tabernacle. They were to stop and wash, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then he hung the curtains, forming the courtyard around the tabernacle and the altar, and he set up the curtain at the entrance of the courtyard. So at last Moses finished the work. The Lord's glory fills the tabernacle. Then the cloud covered the tabernacle, and the glorious presence of the Lord filled it. Moses was no longer able to enter the tabernacle because the cloud had settled down over it, and the tabernacle was filled with the awesome glory of the Lord. Now, whenever the cloud lifted from the tabernacle and moved, the people of Israel would set out on their journey following it. But if the cloud stayed, they would stay until it moved again. The cloud of the Lord rested on the tabernacle during the day, and at night there was fire in the cloud, so all the people of Israel could see it. This continued throughout all their journeys. Did you find it? Stop. You may have missed something exciting and important in the book of Exodus. Go on a Bible search to find the rock that turned into a drinking fountain. Exodus chapter 17, verses 1 to 6. a river of blood. Exodus chapter 7, verses 19 to 24. The people who painted the door frames with blood. Exodus chapter 12, verses 6 to 7 and verse 13. The gold cow, the people had to drink. Exodus chapter 32, verses 1 to 20. The stick that turned into a snake. Exodus chapter 7, verses 10 to 12. The frogs in the bedroom. Exodus chapter 8, verses 1 to 15. A bush on fire that never burned up. Exodus chapter 3, verses 1 to 2. A cloud that held fire instead of rain. Exodus chapter 13. Exodus chapter 13, verses 21 to 22. The man who couldn't put his arms down. Exodus chapter 17, verse 8 to 13. The meal that had to be eaten very fast. Exodus chapter 12, verse 11. Okay, that's all for now. Bye-bye.